Alright guys, today I am going to show you how to make my vegan cookie butter cheesecake. First, you're going to want to soak 2 cups of raw unsalted cashews. If you didn't soak them overnight like I forgot to, you can pour some boiling water on top and let it sit for a while until they soften. Alright, so now we're going to work on our crust. So you want a 9 inch springform pan. It doesn't really matter, it's just how much thicker it's going to be. You want 2 packages of the speculoos cookies, or you can use Biscoff cookies too. So that is 14 ounces of cookies. We're going to crunch these up in our food processor until they're nice and fine, and then we're going to melt a whole stick of butter. That is 8 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to mix that in with the cookies, and we're going to press it into the bottom of our springform pan. The hardest part about this recipe is not eating the cookies while you're trying to make this. Now, after your cookies have been crumbed and your butter has been melted, we are going to turn this on to low and drizzle in that butter. After that's all done getting blended up in there, I like to go in with a spatula, make sure there's no dry spots. And now we're just going to dump it right into our springform pan. Now, if you wanted to, you could put parchment paper in the bottom of your springform pan to make it easier to get out. I'm not going to do that because I just don't care. So we're just going to dump it right in. Now you're going to want to press this crust down as much as you can. So I'm going to start with the rubber spatula just to kind of get it pressed down with this, and then I'm going to use a glass mason jar to press down the rest very, very hard. You want a nice, firm, thick crust. This is actually one of the favorites that I bring to get-togethers for my non-vegan friends. They absolutely love this cookie butter cheesecake. It is a hit. So if you have something going on, like a special something, say you're making this for a special occasion, birthday, Mother's Day, what have you, this is a great dessert for that, and you don't have to bake it. Now I'm just using this mason jar to really crunch it down as hard as I can. I like to have a nice thick cookie crust, but that holds together really well. And once you have sufficiently smashed down your crust, we're going to pop this bad boy in the fridge while we make our filling. Now we're going to get out our blender. I know, 2 big things at once. You could use a food processor, but I promise you it is not going to get as smooth and creamy as you want it to be. I drained all the liquid out of these cashews, and I tried to let it set to get off as much liquid as possible. To this, we're going to add a whole block of silken tofu. That's 1 pound of silken tofu, if I can get it out. And this will work the best if everything that you're using is at room temp, except for the cookie butter. I actually microwaved the jar of cookie butter, and this is a 14-ounce jar of cookie butter. And we're going to dump this whole thing in here, but first, we're going to add our cream cheese and a tablespoon of melted coconut oil. And remember, this is 16 ounces of vegan cream cheese. You want to use a cream cheese that is very thick, not very spreadable. You don't want it whipped or anything like that. You want it to be like a solid mass. 1 tablespoon of melted coconut oil goes right in there. And now we're going to pour in that melted cookie butter. Oh my goodness, you guys. Is there anything more beautiful? Now we're going to blend her up. You are definitely going to need your tamper for this. All right, when your mixture is almost completely done, we're going to taste it. See if it needs any sweetness. I think this is perfect as it is. If you wanted some sweetener added, I would recommend adding some agave, because I feel like it has the most neutral flavor. You really want the cookie butter to shine. But at this point, our mixture is done. Very smooth, very creamy. We're going to pour this into our crust that we put in the fridge. All right, it is time. It is time. Pour that bad boy right in there. Oh my goodness. Like, get out. Does that not look beautiful? Pour her all the way up. You don't want to miss any of this deliciousness. Beautiful. And then we're going to smooth her out. Just smooth mine out with a rubber spatula. It's a jiggly boy. So we're going to pop this back in the fridge. It needs to refrigerate for at least 8 hours. So I'd recommend, if you're going to bring this somewhere, do this before the night before. But you also have to leave yourself another hour after it's done cooling, because then we have to put on our delightful topping, which is what this guy and those are for. All right, when your cheesecake is set enough to where it's not liquid anymore, but it's still a little squishy, like it has some squish to it, we're going to melt the other jar of cookie butter, and we're just going to pour it on the top here. We want to have a nice layer. So make sure you have enough room. Mine is like really full. But listen, it's going to be gorgeous. And this one is such a freaking crowd pleaser. And just once we take it out of the springform pan, it's going to be gorgeous. So now we pop this bad boy back in the fridge so the cookie butter can harden up. All right, it is the next day. Our cheesecake is set. Now I'm going to undo this and show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, and there she is. Big old crust of cookie butter. Now, you could alternatively set this and then take it out of the mold and then pour the cookie butter on top, so it gets like a drizzle down the side. I don't bother to do that. Now I'm going to cut a piece and show you guys how I decorate it. Just look at that. And it is like the cheesecake part is soft, but it's firmed up enough. And it's as like, it just gives you the perfect, cut. So I would decorate the whole cheesecake, but you don't want to do that if you're not planning on serving it right then and there, because the cookies are going to get soft. So we will need a third package of the cookies. You can use however much or however little you want, but my daughter got into these. But yes, so you want a total for this recipe 3 packages of the cookies if you're going to decorate the top. And now I'm going to show you how I do that. So basically, I like to cut or break a cookie in half and kind of stick it, kind of embed it in the top there. And then we're going to take the other half of that cookie and crumble it over the top. And there it is, guys. Look at this masterpiece. Ugh. Like I said, this is a favorite amongst my non-vegan friends and my vegan friends. It is so decadent and delicious. And if you love cookie butter or you love like Biscoff cookies or the Speculoos cookies from Trader Joe's, this recipe is for you.